Hey everyone, it's Tuesday the 8th of January, so we're into a new year, 8 days into a new year, and I'm finally going to get started on a boat project that actually takes place within the boat. And what I'm doing is I'm redoing the freshwater supply. Originally it had this tank and only this tank in the boat, and this thing's capacity is like 3.5 gallons. I checked it out yesterday, and that's what it measured. So that's not much for water. So what I did is I bought a bladder, a 15-gallon bladder. It's got a fill and a place where the supply water goes out. Anyways, that's supposed to be really durable, and it feels pretty light, but we'll see how it holds up. Hopefully it doesn't get punctured or anything of that nature. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and still utilize this 3.5. We'll call it a 4 because I think it took more than that, and I may have not quite got all the water in it I could. But anyways, 4 and 15, so we'll have a 19-gallon water capacity on board. Okay, so this is my first drawing, and this is the water fill plumbing. So we're starting out here at deck level, and this is where this exists already, this piece. The original tank came off of this fill point and set directly beneath it with just a hose going straight into it. And somebody had cut it out, so it wasn't even in the boat when I bought the boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this 1.25 inch hose from here and into a T-fitting, which is this one, like so. And that'll branch off and fill both this 15-gallon tank and then come over and fill that 4-gallon tank. And you can see that I have one of two pumps at the sink. This pump is electric. It's got a little switch here. And the other pump, which I had to replace because it was broken, with a new hand pump. And so I'll have two methods of retrieving water. Should I have electrical problems, I can still get my water through the hand pump. On this side, into the 15-gallon bladder tank, I'm going to take that 1.25 hose and reduce it down. Is the male, and the three of these together are going to let me reduce down. Now my next drawing, here again is where we filled on the bladder, and in order to do that, 3/8 hose as my supply. And the reason the check valves are there is to prevent unpriming the T-fittings are going to go here. In addition to that, I have these. I'm going to have to drill a couple holes in the boat. All right, let's get started with this project. First thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare this 4-gallon tank and get it in place, as I did with the bladder. The bladder is already in place up in the bow of the boat, and now I'm going to put this 4-gallon tank up under the sink, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But first, the one thing I haven't done, I need to put some thread tape on here, just as a precaution, to make sure this isn't going to leak. I don't know how well you can see me. Tank is ready, and we're going to slip it in here, and I'll show you after I get it in there how it's setting. I think I need to put this corner down first, like that. There we go. So you can see that this is just going to slide up in there, and that's where it's going to sit, just like that. I figured out where I need to put that tank as far as where the spout's going to come out through here. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole, and hopefully I'll be close enough And if I need to, I can drill 3 or 4 holes. I'm not worried about that. I got through it. I thought it was much thinner than that, but it's really not. There's a thick piece of plywood in there too. So you can see, if you can see, it might not be light enough. It's very dark in here now. I lost my light. It went dead, so I'm using my headlamp. But as you can see, I've got the hoses run from the tank. I don't know if you can see the tank is in place now. Let's see if I can see. That's the tank, and right there are the hoses coming up out of it. So now I just have to keep going and get this thing done. So on these fittings here, I was having trouble getting the hose to fit over with the barbs. So I've ground all these ends off so that they no longer have any barbs on them, hoping that will reduce the size enough that it'll slide into that hose. Otherwise, I may have to go buy some different hose or different fittings. But anyways, that's what I've had to do. And that took a little while. Okay, so I've got it to this point by grinding off those burrs on the fittings made a world of difference. I was able to slip the hose on and put a clamp on it. It made it much easier. And that's deck level. That's where the water's going to come in at. And then branches off to the bulkhead, or through the bulkhead on the right there, right here, and feeds the 4-gallon tank in the galley. And then this hose going through this partition through the fiberglass, and is going to feed the 15-gallon water bladder in the bow of the boat. Now all I have to do is run my supply lines to the faucets, and this job will be done. This vinyl 3/8 tubing is really quite stiff, and I need to soften it up a little bit in order to get my fittings in it and be able to run that line. So I'm putting it right here in front of my Mr. Heating Buddy here to warm it up and make it more pliable. Okay, so I've finished up under the sink here. I've got my T connection in there, supplying water from both the 4-gallon tank and the 15-gallon bladder tank, and it goes from there up here to the sink, and that's finished up under there. Let's go back here into the bow of the front of the boat here. Okay, up here in the bow, you can see that I've run the supply line right along the full length of the fill hose, and then just wire tied it on there so it's nice and neat. And then in the where the bladder's at, I've made all my connections here to the supply line. And then the fill, you can see it back up in there, how I've hooked up the fill line. All right, that finishes up my fresh water supply. Now I get to move on to reworking all the electric, and boy, what a mess.